Hi. I'm looking for
Chef.
Who's asking?
John Chef Jr., your son.
My son? Junior?
Yeah.
It's complicated. This cat plays a third generation in a line of bad.
Shut your mouth.
I'm talking about Jessie T. Usher.
Yeah, then I can dig it.
All right, here he is, the star of Shaft, Jessie T. Usher.
Usher, time
In the
to usher in
house.
a brand new Shaft, everybody. We saw this movie last week, Raj, and man, did we have some serious laugh out loud. So congratulations on landing this iconic role.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
Oh my gosh, alongside two of the OGs, no less.
Oh my goodness, two of the legendary OGs.
Yeah, Samuel Jackson,
What's that
Richard
like
Roundtree.
when you walk into a room with those two?
Initially, it was a little intimidating, but they kind of took the pressure. They alleviated the pressure early on. You know what I mean? Sam is still playing the same character that he played. Richard is still playing the same character that they played. So the fact that they took that on and like were just doing their thing, I was able to come in and do something fresh.
Yeah,
So.
and they weaved it in so beautifully, the three generations of Shaft cohesively in the script. And there's a lot of talk about the generational differences.
Yeah.
So what was that like, being able to play that out, where it's, oh, you're sort of coming in as the millennial with the millennial issues versus their old school ones?
You know, to be honest, Kenya Barris and Tim Story had like this great vision of bridging that gap and doing it like in a comedic way, and they kind of they really laid it out, you know, on how they wanted to piece the connective tissue together.
Yeah.
And it was nice for me to just be able to come in and, you know, make that come to life. And Sam has so many ideas about how he wanted to do it, and I had a ton of ideas as well. So like we kind of just came together and had a collaborative effort to make it happen.
Yeah, it sounds like you guys had a pretty open set there on how you wanted to do things to a degree.
We did. We absolutely did. It was nice, and like everything was flowing, and everybody had, you know, was so creative and invested in the project. So it was very free flowing, and I loved it.
What is Sam like when they yell cut? Is he charismatic? Is he running jokes? Does he just go back to the trailer? What's he like?
He's a little bit of everything. It depends. It depends on how well the take went. If
Right.
the take was excellent, then like, for some reason he gets like in this mode of like, okay, let's move on to the next thing. So, you know, he's like putting his jacket on, putting his hat on, and he's headed back to the trailer to get ready. Or if it was bad, he's gonna joke to somebody about like who messed up. Like
Right.
sometimes it was me, sometimes it would be like a director thing or a camera thing or whatever, but he's very light with it, you know what I mean? Keeps the mood light, he keeps everybody on their toes, which I love because he's so professional and he's always so prepared. You kind of have to bring your A game when you're working with him.
And who's cooler? Can I put you on the spot?
Oh,
Richard
my
Roundtree,
God.
Samuel Jackson, or you? We'll throw you in the mix.
it's like
Who's
that.
Me? Man, I gotta give it to Richard. I gotta give it to Richard Roundtree. This is what I'll say. The first time I met Richard was at the rehearsal for like the first scene that he was in, and I saw him standing off to the side. And he was like leaning up against the wall with an unlit cigar, just like every time somebody walk up to him, they would say Richard, and he'd say, "What's up?" I was like, "Oh my gosh, this dude is so dope."
He is Shaft.
he
He's
is.
got the swagger.
Yeah.
Okay, the moves in this. You pull off some serious stunts and capoeira. So did you learn all that, or did you already have training? Did you do your own stunts? Because it looked really believable.
I did a lot of my own stunts in the film. I had a few months of capoeira training before we went to camera. But I have a history of martial arts, too, when I was, you know, growing up. And then I stopped about 2 years ago. But up until then, I was doing different styles of martial arts. So I have a little bit of practice.
Did you love doing those scenes?
I did.
The physical scenes?
They're funny.
I did.
Very funny
They were
scenes.
great. Thank you. And we had this huge crowd, and like the energy was so high, so it was kind of easy to do, and my adrenaline was pumping. So you know, I had fun.
And did you watch the original and then
Oh, yeah.
and then Samuel Jackson's?
I did. I saw Samuel Jackson's prior to, you know, knowing about this film, and then once this came about, I had to go back and do some research. You know what I mean? I just wanted the timeline to make sense. So that was interesting, and also I probably made a mistake by doing so, but I wanted to capture that tone of the earlier projects.
No, you didn't,
And then-
because you landed it, you nailed it. It was so much fun to watch. Why do you think the story of Shaft resonates to this day, decades later?
I mean, he was just a timeless hero. You know what I mean? That character, Shaft, was such a staple in that moment. It kind of just carried over from generation to generation. I hear my grandparents talk about it, and then, like, my parents talk about this character. And now it just seems like he works in such a touchy society. It's nice to have someone who just doesn't care.
Yeah, it's refreshing.
And I was reading you'd like to go in a different direction on your next movie. You were talking about Arthur Ashe as a biopic you'd like to do.
I would love to do Arthur Ashe.
Why
as a
Arthur Ashe, the
biopic.
tennis legend?
I read a couple books that were like about his life and, you know, some really big matches that Arthur Ashe had, and I kind of just liked his approach and his demeanor, his energy. And a lot of the things that his wife talks about, I don't know, I felt connected to his story. And forever, a lot of people told me, like, you should just play Arthur Ashe. And I was like, really, you think so? He's like, I know I read a couple things, but I don't know if I could pull it off. And then as time kind of went on, I was like, you know what, I think I actually would like to tell this story.
Well, you put it out there, so there's no doubt big things will be coming after landing this role. It's just like whole other level. And since you're in the 6, I have to ask you, Raptors
Of
or
course.
Golden State Warriors?
No, I'm going for the Raptors.
Yes,
I'm going for the
Jessie
Raptors
T,
on this.
Usher!
Come on, pull it together, guys.
Yes. Okay, catch Jessie T, Usher in Shaft. It's in theaters June 14th, which is next Friday. But we want you to see the film before everybody else. We're giving away tickets to an advanced screening taking place next Wednesday, June 12th at Scotiabank Theater at 7:45 p.m. Enter to win at breakfasttelevision.ca. Can you give us a We the North?
We the North.
We the North.
With attitude, that's
We
it.
out here, baby.
Thank you very much, Jessie. Let's head upstairs now to Mel.